So today we're going to talk about equipment, and the most important piece of equipment in your kitchen is your chef knife or French knife. And you're going to want to become very familiar with this because it really eliminates the need for a lot of extra little gadgety tools that you don't need in your kitchen. They take up space and they can be expensive. So invest in a chef knife, and I use the word invest lightly because you can get a decent chef knife that will hold its blade for about $20. Along with the French knife or chef knife, you're also going to want a cutting board. And this cutting board should be about 1.5 times long diagonally as your knife is, so that there's plenty of room for proper and safe cutting. Paring knife, you're going to want this. Obviously, you're going to want to use your chef knife for larger items and paring knife for smaller items. You wouldn't try to carve a watermelon with a paring knife, nor would you try to pit cherries necessarily with the tip anyway of a chef knife. So use the right tool for the right job. Other things that you're going to want in your kitchen arsenal are a whisk. So you might use this for vinaigrettes, you might use this for cream soups. There's lots of uses for a whisk in the kitchen. As far as stirring, so your whisk is going to be one of those tools. A silicone heat-proof spatula and a wooden spoon. So these wooden spoons are very inexpensive. I usually keep them for a couple of years and then throw them away and trade them in for some new ones. Tongs, these are great. These are actually what I use for cooking more than spoons or spatulas. I would say that I use tongs for turning things over and for a little bit of stirring too. Be sure that whenever you're stirring with something that's metal, that you're not using a nonstick pan, because you don't want to scrape that nonstick surface with another metal utensil, because not only does it decrease the effectiveness of the nonstick, it also makes, you also wouldn't want to ingest that nonstick coating. Things that you'll need for measuring are going to be nested measuring cups, nested measuring spoons, and sometimes these have markings on the inside that you can use also. Make sure that whenever you're thinking about measuring spoons and measuring cups, that you understand that these are for dry measures and that there's a specific liquid measure that you might need also. Can opener for various canned items that you might be using. A peeler for some fruits and vegetables. I say that because we do want to leave the peels on a lot of vegetables like carrots, beets, some turnips if they're tender, potatoes. We want to leave the peel on those vegetables because they do offer a lot of fiber and nutrients. But something like a butternut squash or other winter squashes have a very tough peel, and so you might want to use, or you definitely will want to use, a peeler for those kind of squash. You might need kitchen shears when you're cooking. This could be to trim ends off of different things. This could also be if you were growing herbs in your garden, you would use these kitchen shears to trim off the herbs that you might need. A grater, you would need that for shredding cabbage, shredding carrots, zucchini, all different kinds of applications for that. And then if you turn it over to this side, you can actually make some slices with that. Again, this would be a reason to get really familiar with your chef knife so that you're not having to use your grater to make slices. Then there's 2 tiny little grater sides that you might use for garlic, ginger, but yet again, your chef knife is really your best friend when it comes to a grater. You might also see a grater that's just one flat piece and it has all of these different grater sides on it, and that's fine too. I like the stand grater because you can stand it up on something and it's nice and sturdy when you're trying to grate. A steamer basket, you would use this inside a pot that had a little bit of water. You would put your vegetable right in the steamer basket, cover with a lid, and then steam until your vegetable is tender. Other things that you're going to need just for general cooking, I like to use nested mixing bowls because they store easily. You'll use the mixing bowls for all kinds of applications. A sheet pan, you might hear people call these cookie sheets. Cookie sheets technically don't have a rolled edge. Cookie sheets have no edge on 2 sides, sometimes all 4 sides actually. So this is actually called a sheet pan. And lastly, You may need a casserole dish for many different things as you're making, not just casseroles. You may roast and bake in the casserole dishes. Make sure that whenever you are cooking with these though, know that they need a little bit of moisture. You wouldn't want to roast something dry directly into the this Corningware pan, because it can shatter at higher temperatures if it doesn't have liquid in it.